Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching the Reef Felicia YouTube channel, the channel I created last year and then immediately abandoned. I'm actually really bad at this. This is terrible. I feel like I need to get better at making videos though. I kind of thought that, aquarium photography would carry me throughout life, but I realize I'm sort of a dinosaur now, so I'm trying to keep up with the times, not doing a very good job of it. But I have a couple of updates since the last time I made a video. As you can see, I have a new tank. Gem Tang's doing really well. But the tank that I did have before leaked and I had to get this new one. And also, right after I made the last video about Gem Tang not feeling well, he actually did get really sick, and he blew up to like the size of a softball, and it got really scary. But I was able to quarantine him, put him in a hospital tank, and treat him, and he got better. It really was a miracle. I've never seen a fish get that bloated and survive, because once they get to that point, it's like their internal organs are being crushed and squished, and they usually don't make it back from that. But I got really lucky, and my most prized possession survived a really terrible illness. So I'll show you my new tank. So this is the new tank. The one I had before was a 75-gallon tank from the 1990s, and actually the stand it's on is still the same stand from the 1990s, and the sump inside is still from the 1990s. It's my SpongeBob chair. So inside this, what is this, a miracle sump, we have one of the new Max Spec jump pumps. I really like this new return pump. It's a DC pump, has a controller, and my favorite mode is mode 3. Basically it like mimics the tide. Like it goes really fast, and then it gradually slows down, and then it gradually picks up again. So it has like a more natural wave pattern. Let's see, and then I have a really old heater in here somewhere that's being controlled by an Inkbird controller. Yeah, this is gonna have a reactor on it at some point. I took the reactor off. Put some rock in here, and my really gross eShop skimmer. I really need to clean that better. S-Series, what is this, a 120. I really like this skimmer. It works great. I got it from Ricky Finn's Aquatics here in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So I've only had this tank set up for a few months now, but most of the coral and stuff inside came from the old tank. So a lot of these sea fans, these gorgonians, they're from, what are they called now? They used to be called Sea Life Incorporated. They're KP Aquatics now. I love KP Aquatics. They have Florida livestock, and you can get the nicest gorgonians from them for so cheap. They're awesome. This little blue guy, that's my Sapphire Damsel. Also got him from Ricky Finn's. And of course my most prized possession, my Gem Tang. And he came from TSM Aquatics in New Jersey. They actually quarantine all their livestock before putting it up for sale. So I won this fish at a raffle a couple years ago at Reefapalooza in New York. That was it, Reefapalooza. And so I brought him home and I quarantined him just like I do every other fish I buy, and there wasn't anything wrong with him, so I didn't know what to do. It was kind of funny. All I could do was just enjoy the fish. So he's doing really well. Let's see, what else do we have? Another gorgonian. I really like these frilly ones. This one's my favorite. So the tank's still kind of new, so we're gonna have some nuisance algae, and I think my urchin moved these guys around a little bit. And I wouldn't normally recommend putting Caulerpa algae in your display tank, but Jemmy here loves to eat Caulerpa, so I just put it in there for him to snack on, and I guarantee you he's gonna have all of this Caulerpa eaten up in like a month if I don't keep replenishing it. So the rock that I put in here is kind of interesting. I found this, it's Aquamax brand Tonga shelf rock, and I found out that it's actually real Tonga shelf rock, and it comes dry, which is fine. I cured it, and I already had these Tonga branch rocks. I've had these for, I don't know, maybe 15 years or longer, and I've just been like carrying these branch rocks around with me for years, and so I thought it would be fun to like put the shelves on top of the branches. Some of my friends made fun of me about this rock work, but I think it looks kind of cool now, something different, and it gives Jemmy some nice caves to hide in. He really likes it. And I think once I get some encrusting corals on the shelves, it's gonna look really neat. I have this ridiculous Cyphastria in my bowl that grows like wildfire. I'm gonna move some over here. And I made each one of these like pieces that are connected with it's Aquamax Reef Welder, and it is the best reef glue I've ever used in my life for putting live rock together. Basically, it's like a plastic with a really low melting point. So you just put some in some hot, you put these little beads in some hot water, and then you take the like mass out and you just work with it like putty. And it cures really, really, really quickly. Basically, it just comes to, you know, room temperature and hardens like it's plastic, and then it just becomes plastic. The only downside to using this is I obviously did a terrible job because you can see it, but I mean, that'll get covered over with algae eventually, or coral eventually. But the only other downside is that you can't get these things apart unless you like pour really hot water over them. So if you had coral growing on this live rock sculpture, you would have to, you know, hammer and chisel maybe. It'd be really tough to get apart, but that's kind of a good thing because, you know, epoxy putty doesn't hold very well. I need to put a coral or something right here to cover that up because that looks terrible. Yeah, and there's some more of that blue. The Reef Welder comes in either clear or purple. So this is the other side of the tank, and all that algae just got stuck there, but let me pull that out. So this piece of rock that came in the Aquamax Tonga shelf box was like breathtaking. It was a shelf on a pedestal, and I just glued some, I used that Reef Welder to put some stabilizing pieces around it so that it wouldn't fall down. And each one of these pieces that I glued together is small enough that I could just lift it out and remove it if I ever really needed to, so that's kind of nice. But they stay together 100%. I have a couple more gorgonians here, a sea rod. There's some of that purple photosynthetic sponge. I have some of that in all my other systems too, so I'm trying to be careful with it because I hear it's really invasive. And this is my, it's hard to see and there's a lot of bubbles right now. And I just scraped the glass, so of course there's a lot of detritus flowing around. This is my it's called pulsing Sinularia. This is my pulsing Sinularia. Also got that from Ricky Fins, and I love this piece. And I got Aquamax frag rack here. And I really like this Aquamax frag rack because other frag racks, I'm not going to mention names, but other frag racks I've had in the past, the magnets rust on them and they're just not very strong. But the magnets on this frag rack are fully enclosed, and I just don't see them rusting in the near future. And the magnets are just really well made, and they're not frustrating to pick up or handle, and I just really like this frag rack. It seems so well made. Let's see. So the light I have on this tank is an Aquamax Nemo light, and it's a budget light, and you know what though? It gets the job done. Has a little controller here, control panel. It's got weather effects. They're kind of cool, but there is a new model called Prism, the Aquamax Prism, and I think at some point this year I'll probably upgrade to that light fixture. But this one, I mean, hey, it works. It's growing my coral, but it probably also helps that I have the tank in a window. And the corals get a lot of natural light, and you'll probably hear a lot of people tell you don't ever put your tank near a window because number one, the temperature fluctuation, and number two, the natural light could cause more algae. But I've always kept tanks in front of windows and I like the natural light effect, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. So this is my really ugly net cover that I made from some local hardware store parts, but you can get really nice ones online that are made by like Innovative Marine or Red Sea, and I recommend those. So this is the overflow and return of this brand tank. This is a Seapora tank, which is like the economy brand standard aquarium that you can buy. And unfortunately, it only has one drain, and it's a Durso. The return is okay, but that single Durso kind of makes me nervous. But I'm always home, so if something does go wrong, if it does get clogged, I can hurry up and fix it. But this little part right here gets crusted over a lot, so I try to keep this clean. And there's also a strainer in there that you have to keep clean. That's really important with this kind of tank. There are much nicer tanks that you can get today, like Waterbox or Red Sea. But if you know me, then you know I'm probably the cheapest person that you know. So I opted for this economy style Seapora brand tank. So before we go, why don't we feed Gem Tang, because he thinks that's what's going on right now. I'm gonna get his favorite food out, and I'm gonna show it to him, and he'll get really excited. Are you excited, Jemmy? Look, he's excited. Do you want some algae, buddy? And then he'll start biting the algae clip. Watch him. He's telling me to hurry up. Okay, here we go. There we go, buddy. Oh, I spooked him a little bit with the lid. There he is. Would you like some algae, little friend? Here, get your algae. And this is the purple variety of the Julian Sprung's sea veggies. It's his favorite color. There are other colors. He likes the green too, but he definitely prefers the purple. It really makes me sad whenever I see other tangs that are really skinny. And it seems like a lot of people, especially people who are new to the hobby, don't realize how skinny their tangs are. And but you can see when he faces the camera head on or from the back that he's wide. Like, this is not a narrow fish. Tangs are not supposed to be narrow. They're very thick. And you can see, right above Come back. Sort of right above the eyes and right underneath the dorsal fin. In a lot of really thin tangs, you'll notice some thinness there, but on this guy, he's mad. On this guy, you can see that he has, thickness there. He's got really good body condition. He wants me to put it on the clip. Now he's happy. Oh no. Now he's gonna have to wrestle with that giant piece. So you can see why I love this fish so much. And I mean, obviously it's beautiful. So maybe next time I make a video, if I get around to it, I will show you the cube system. It's in pretty poor shape at the moment, and you wouldn't be able to see anything if I wanted to show you anyway, because the front of the tank is completely covered in algae. Here's that damsel. These sapphire damsels are actually really nice. They're not nearly as aggressive as other damsel species, and they eat flatworms. Like, they do a really good job of eating flatworms. So that is his purpose in life. So I think the tank has been set up long enough that I can safely start adding some more coral. I'm definitely going to put in some Superman, Cephastria, maybe some red Monty cap. Not sure what else. Whatever strikes my fancy next time we're able to go to a frag swap. But unfortunately, our frag swap in April, we were going to go to the Williamsport swap. That was canceled because of coronavirus. So hopefully we'll be able to make it to a swap soon and I can get some new coral. But I do have a couple of local shops that have some really nice coral. They do a good job. So maybe I can get my fix that way. I don't know if you guys have any questions or suggestions, or if you just want to make fun of me because I'm so terrible at making these videos and my camera work is so shaky, and you want to make fun of my rock work, feel free. Leave a comment. And maybe next year I'll make another video.